Well, good afternoon and welcome along to Ballycastle on the north coast of Northern Ireland. I'm immediately going to come clean. I am in a very, very grumpy mood. A sequence of events have led me to have a pretty situation going on. And so the last thing I felt like doing was getting out with a camera. But actually, perhaps it's the first thing that I probably should have done, or at the very least got out for a little dander along the beach. I have no ideas whether this is going to make any way a vlog or not. I think one of the things that I've come to realise over the last 12 months is actually going out with a camera with no or low expectations, but actually having a sense of curiosity is actually what I enjoy most about photography. Now don't get me wrong, it can be really good to have an idea in your head, maybe a location that you've visited before, maybe a location that you've seen on social media, and go and sort of try to get that image in under spectacular lighting. But actually what I really enjoy is just going out with the camera, or cameras, with just no real expectations, just out for a dander along the beach and see what we can see. So that's what we're going to do today. And actually I've just come down onto the beach and I've come across this bit of driftwood, and I love how that sort of alien weed is sort of wrapped around it, and there's just a very subtle bit of subdued light. And so I think that perhaps there might be something happening here, who knows. And say one of the things I love, I've talked about it before, I love my little X100T. Now they've just released the X100V, but I still love my little T version. And so I'll probably fire off a couple of frames with that, see whether there's anything doing, especially when there's that little bit of diffused light going on. So, but yeah, it really is just going to be a bit of a dander along along the beach, no expectations, just nice to get out, not least to try to make me less of a moody, grumpy so-and-so. Foray with the driftwood. I love this beach actually, but a really good thing about having somewhere on your doorstep or somewhere that you visit multiple times is you get into sort of a tune as to what the place is going to be like over various seasons. And one of the things I love about this beach is just below me where I'm standing, these little tiny pebbles. Now at different seasons of the year, just watching those waves coming in, at different seasons of the year, this beach can actually be covered in pebbles. But obviously with some of the big winter storms that we've had, a lot of those pebbles have actually been displaced, but we still have some of the smaller ones here as well. But actually what those pebbles can actually do is create some lovely textures and patterns in the sand that again can make for some nice abstract images. So I might start looking for some of those, but yeah, some lovely sort of subtle light as well going on, but yeah, nice. So first thing first, not my dog. Seem to have adopted a dog. Been playing about a little bit just by the waves as you do. In fact, here comes one now that might just work. Not a lot going on in the sky. Oh! Lost my dog. So basically it's just the little patterns that are being formed between these two stones. Now, it doesn't happen that often. And quite often when the waves come up, it just kind of covers it over. But every so often there's just a lovely sort of curve that's going around both of those stones. That's kind of what I'm looking for. Now the light's gone quite flat. It kind of comes and goes. We have had a bit of harsh light, we've got flat light, but we're looking for just some of that subdued light, especially with this foreground rock and some of those little pebbles, because they really do kind of get accentuated. But yeah, happy to report the mood is starting to lift. Could do with tea and cake, mind you. So So I love little scenes like the one behind me, where you have the effects of erosion and geology. And actually what I really love trying to do is kind of create a bit of a human element in the rocks. You know, quite often whenever we look at rocks we will see sort of faces or human shapes, and I think that's the case here. And what was interesting was when I first arrived here and was looking at it, I was interested in just the patterns that erosion had made and the actual geology of the rocks themselves. But it wasn't until I really started studying those rocks that I started to see faces. Well, I saw one face, quite an obvious face, and then actually a few minutes later perhaps saw a second face as well. Or perhaps I just need more or less coffee. Fine balance. But yeah, just love little scenes like this here, and you could while away, I could while away, you know, at least an hour just in this little area. Loads of gorgeous rocks, patterns, sort of almost ignoring the fact that you're at the coast. And again, mood continues to improve. Okay, so back to a bit more of a classical seascape scene, and I've always loved these rocks here. Shot them a couple of times before, not least that they take on some lovely golden tones, and that sun is really nicely diffused, giving us some lovely light at the moment. And what I'm looking for here is this, the waves are coming in sets. Obviously right now it's quite flat, not a lot of energy going on around the rocks, but every so often you will get some bigger waves coming in, and what they're doing is they're coming in and they're hitting off the bottom of the rocks that I'm standing on, and they're being forced back upon themselves, and that's creating some lovely dynamism across both of these sort of bits of outcrop. Now, I kind of am trying, I would love it if Rathlin Island wasn't behind me, there was just nothing there. The sky's not too bad, but I would love it just to be nothing there. Sounds like I'm getting a little bit of energy coming through, and I can see a couple of bigger sets now. You'll probably see that just hopefully starting to build. Really would love these two rocks to stand by themselves, so I might position myself a little bit further left to see whether I can get back out. Now, as luck would have it, it looks like there is actually a little bit of light on Rathlin, so maybe we will use a bit of that, but for now it's a case of just waiting for some more energy in those waves. Well, as you can probably imagine, mood has been lifted considerably. We got some gorgeous evening light. Just beautiful. Still on these rocks, and just with that gorgeous light you're getting even more of that sort of underlying colour on the rock shining through. Now you may ask, given this beautiful light, why am I not still firing off shots? Well, I think sometimes when you come to a location, especially one that you've been a number of times before, there's a couple of little compositions that you kind of want to work on, and that's kind of all I wanted to do. So I'm really just now enjoying that sun. It is going to dip below the visible horizon in the next 15-20 minutes, but I think everything that I've wanted to get from this little area I've kind of got. So as I said, mood has been lifted, and with mood well and truly lifted, I think I'm going to start making my way back along the beach again, back into the van. It'll be quite interesting actually to see what solar the van is pulling in. We are in sort of first week in February, but it's a reasonable bit of sun because we are just about to head back off in the van. We'll talk about that in our next Tiny Tuesdays, I think. But for now, I'm going to pack up the camera kit, wander back to the van, and bimble back along the Causeway Coast. That was a rather pleasant surprise given how I was at lunchtime today. Right, catch up again soon guys, bye bye.